Hey there, it's Chaya here with another episode of Naked, the Messy Middle Edition. And today I'm going to talk about our favorite topic, weight loss. Well, I don't know about you, but I spent most of my teen years, actually I started around 8 years old on my first diet. I spent since then till today trying to figure out how to have a healthy body, how to stay fit without drugs. So what I'm here today to share with you is the messy middle of it, but also part one of how do you actually lose weight, and not just with what you do, but right here in your mind. See, if in your mind, you know how sometimes you can lose a lot of weight, and you've seen people do this or you've done it yourself, and then suddenly, like literally a half a year later, they're back to the exact same weight they were before, if not more. What happened? Well, if your mind didn't shift with your body, you will go back to where your mind is, because whatever is real in your mind is the reality you live in. So for example, when I was, I'd say I was around 12 years old, 12 or 13 years old actually, to be more accurate. I literally weighed like 102, and most of my friends weighed, let's say, 110. My skinny friends weighed 110, 115, for my height and my everything. And I remember looking in the mirror and thinking I was fat. And the truth is, I remember what I saw in the mirror. I was fat in my head. What I saw was fat. And you know what? I look at the pictures and I'm like, whoa, there's barely any meat on that body. How's that possible? Where did you even find extra? And it wasn't like I really saw fat. I really saw stomach that I was trying so hard to pull in. I really saw flabs all over the place, and stretch marks, and different things. And I'm here today to really bring it home. See, I have a wedding in 3 or 4 months. I like to leave it further away so that I can make the change now and come fully prepared for it, in a healthy mindset, healthy body, and just really be ready to give and take and start a beautiful life together. And one of the biggest things I want is a healthy, fit body walking in there. And over the last year, I've been doing so much therapy and so much work. I decided to finally, as a young kid, I was taught to suck in my stomach and never let it out. So I would breathe, but I would never really breathe out. And I would hold on so tight in my stomach. That's where I stored so much of my trauma, because the anxiety and everything got stored in my stomach, because I was literally tensing it up 24/7. And up until around a year ago, maybe a little more, I literally held on to it. And finally I decided we're going to let it out. And maybe for a while, my body's going to hold on to it, and a lot of food is going to get stored there, and it might get bigger than I'm used to, and I'm going to have to work through my images. But I don't want to just get healthy in my body. I want to get healthy in my mind. So for the last year, I've been priming my mind and preparing it for a healthy, fit body. I've been doing some workouts, some different stuff, but I haven't gone full force. A year ago, I went full force on my body, and my body collapsed on me. It didn't like it. It really didn't like it, and I fought back so hard. I wasn't eating well enough. I was almost doing it, almost. And what I realized is I need to do it in my head first, which is what I'm here to tell you about. You see, what was your first relationship with food? That's where we got to start. If you really want to change, and you want long-lasting change, you want permanent change, not just for a few minutes, we need to start with your mind and start with the first relation. What was the ABCs for you? What was your first introduction to food? Were you fed so that you can be quiet? Some mothers, sadly, but will overfeed their children to somehow keep them busy. Or some mothers didn't have food as a child, so they overfeed their children, so you for sure have food. So were you overfed? Were you not fed at all? Maybe you weren't fed. I can say I wasn't fed. I was fed as a baby, but then when I got a little older, and 3, 4 years old, and still at the age where you need to be fed, I wasn't fed. By the time I was 6, 7 years old, it was normal. I went for days eating crappy food. It was so normal, no one even thought it was weird. But at a very young age, I wasn't fed. So my first relationship with food was that of there is none unless you take. And you gotta take it and make sure no one sees it and eat the whole thing, because you're gonna be starving. Sorry. Did you have to scream for your bottle? Did no one come to give you a bottle unless you scream? I have that memory too. If you had to scream for your bottle, you were taught that your food wasn't that important as other people's sleep. Which means that you're automatically thinking your food isn't as important as all the other stuff you need to do, and things like that. So first, I want you to take a moment and invite you, take a pen and paper. You want this to last forever, you gotta come play full out, all the way. Take a pen and paper and write it down. My first relationship with food. Pause the video. What was it? What's your first memory with you and food? How did you feel? Did you get excited like, oh my God, I haven't seen him forever? Was there a healthy relationship there? Maybe your relationship with food only got strained later on. So we want to know what your first relationship with food was, because usually that's where the pain is. That's where the break is. If there isn't a good foundation, how the hell do you think that just eating healthy, just working out is going to change anything? We need to go right back there. So take a moment. And I hope you're back now after pausing the video. And even if not, here's what I want to give you an opportunity to do. Take the pen in your left hand. If you're a righty, put it in your left hand. If you're a lefty, put it in your right hand. And let that little girl or boy, from the image that you had, write to you. Tell you about what it feels towards food, the pain, the sadness, the excitement, what is it? My best bet is that little child wants to be trained what healthy eating looks like, what healthy activity feels like. My best bet is that child didn't get it, right? And step one to being able to build a sustainable, healthy lifestyle, to lose weight permanently, to really be able to not diet anymore. Do you want to keep dieting the rest of your life? The yo-yo diets, Or maybe you're not as, for me, it's, I can get away with it. My weight's not that crazy. I don't look that bad, but it doesn't feel good. So I don't care how much you weigh. My question is, do you feel healthy? Do you feel alive? Do you feel vigorous? And if you don't, something's wrong in your health balance. Do you eat when you're starving? How much do you eat a day? Are you starved most of the time? Are you overfed? If any of this resonates with you, do this. Give yourself a chance. Pause the video again and let your little one talk. And when you're back, which I hope you paused and you played full out right now, I want to give you the opportunity to talk back to that little one. And I'm gonna monitor it. I'm gonna model it. So, hey little one, I know that it's hard for you, my relationship with food. Well, I know that your relationship with food is a hard thing to talk about. And therefore my relationship with food is terrible. And I haven't been training you what it's like to eat healthy, what it's like to be fed, because I wasn't fed. But you deserve it. And I will feed you no matter how I feel. And it might take some time until I get it right, until I can do it the way I really want to. But my promise to you is I will not stop until I figure it out. And you will be fed. You will be fed. You will get it. And I will take good care of you. I promise you that. I love you. That's just one model, that's mine. But talk to your little one. Talk to the voice that spoke on your paper, that told you about your first relationship with food. That is the first step. This is part one. for how do we actually make sustainable change. How do we change it in the mind so that you can actually start changing your body dysmorphia, changing the way you feel, changing the way you see everything, and making it possible for you to feel free in your own body. So, it's Chaya here. I am so happy to be talking about this. Wow. I've been waiting for this for a long time. You know what to do. Like and subscribe. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon.